So, Yankee, welcome to the untold story of Raregroove.
My name is Anthony Washington, and my stage name is known by Yanki B. I'm the first premier beatbox of London, playing in the background, so he would cut it up, and very much he used to give me some influence. There wasn't any form of hip hop music at that time. It was rap music, but it was no hip hop music. So what dancers used to dance to was either soul, break beats that were little break sections that DJs would cut. The break beats were very much, old rare grooves that were just spun over and over. A lot of DJs used to mix that track and just use the drum beat just for the dancers. Before body popping, it was robots. It was syncopation movements, that sort of things, and then that amalgamated into the body popping style. I was one of the first people in Covent Gardens dancing, and a lot of people who had an art form, which was dancing, breaking, and body popping, used to go to Covent Gardens to actually try and raise some money. In Covent Gardens was the hub. It was like an academy of artists who with many skills. The one guy that actually used to perform down there was, which is quite a lot, was Dr. Stewart. A lot of mainstream artists have come out of Covent Gardens or have been influenced by the scene of Covent Gardens. So very much the British music scene has to pay a lot of homage to the people who actually were the influencers and the trailblazers of the early days in Covent Garden. It was a community. It was very much a loved community with people who were on the cusp of rap music and on deep into soul, because you have to remember there was a scene where there were jazz dancers, and before hip hop there was a lot of jazz dancers. I was one of the guys in London who always knew where things were happening, because we didn't have mobile telephones. And most of us didn't even have telephones in our house. Some people had to use the telephone boxes outside their house to actually as their office. So any information about any clubs or any warehouse parties that were going on at that time, which were quite dubious back then, because any events like that were going on, the police was always quick to shut it down, because you know they have a view of a certain crowd of people. If there's more than two, then it's a riot. Yeah, so I was always in the know of all the clubs, or everything that was happening. And African Center for sure was the you know was chicken food, chicken soup for the soul. Wag Club. The Wag Club was quite heavy as well. Wag Club, they used to do a lot of the hip hop events and a lot of rare groove events, a lot of funk and soul nights. But those were in clubs. That it was a different vibe. The ones that were in warehouses were, new textiles, new. You had scratch videos being played. The warehouse parties back in the day, and people don't realize and how developed London is now. Back then, London used to be derelict. So the new music scene gave life to people, gave them a new outlook, gave them new influences, gave them new ways of thinking of things, thinking about out the box, because pretty much in Britain, everybody was like horse with blinkers. I can sit here and say that I am and I'm proud to say that I'm one of the ambassadors of a British movement. Getting influences as a beatboxer in London, getting influences, it was very hard to actually get influences. I would listen to music and then after get inspired by a certain sound, and then try and create it, and then try and use it as part of my my toolkit in my sounds. So there was a lot of DJs out there that helped me, you know, as a beatboxer in London. A big style council in Britain when it came to like the Raregroove scene, because everybody had their own style. It was a magical time. We've lost that, so hence that we need to do these sort of documentations